Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Sports Talk with me, Ricardo. What's going on, man? I hope you're having a blessed day. It's a beautiful day outside. I mean, I'm having an amazing time. You could see it. But anyway, man. Before we talk about Joel Embiid, which is crazy news, you hearing it here first before we talk about it. Let me. There's a few stuff going on with the Morris twin. They're talking about him, writing a bad checks. They're talking about Gilbert Arenas. Let me address a few of those things, because the stuff that I'm not saying I know those guys personally, but let's go with Morris. They say he wrote a bad check. He did not. Let me tell you how it will work. I was a director of public safety for Rush Street Gaming, who own several casinos. Rivers Casino is one of those things. So I know how it works, right? If when you have, when you have a, high profile player, those players don't go to, they don't go to, like, for example, if you're a celebrity, whatever, you're not going to where the regular folks are going. If you're a millionaire, if you're rich, if you spend a lot of money, you usually go on a high limit. You're not going to the regular folks where they play. You're usually in high limits. And then, for example, you could play, you could show up. You don't have to have the cash on you. You could ask for $1 million, right? They'll give you a markup of $1 million. So when you lose, usually people win and they pay the money back, right? They pay the money that they borrow back, right? When you lose, you usually have, a couple of days to come in and pay the money back. If you don't come back to pay the money back, it's considered a bad check. That's what it is. Not that you wrote a bad check. So the way the media put it out there, it's like he walked in there, wrote a bad check, and left, and wrote a bad. No, that's not how it was. You know what I mean? He wrote the check, and of course the casino gonna cash those checks, but that's not how it is. They made it seem like he wrote a bad check, left, and whatever. Yes. He went in there, they gave him a markup, whatever, they gave him the money. He was a high limit, they gave him the money. He didn't pay, he lost. He didn't pay it right away, because again, a lot of celebrities have done that. You know how many celebrity have walked into a casino and not pay the money right away? They give him a week or two to come back to pay the money. They give him the time. The casino can work it up to 30 days. It's up to the casino based on the relationship they have with you, right? They can say, hey, you know what I mean? We know you good for it. This is why they give you the money up front. A regular person can't walk into a casino. They're gonna give them a markup. No, they're not gonna do that. This is a high learner, high spending, someone who spent a lot of money inside the casino, all that stuff. So this is how it goes. So he lost. He left. He went to another casino and did the same thing. Which is, these guys gamble a lot. So and they claiming that he wrote a bad checks, all that stuff. That's not what it is. They give him time to pay. He didn't pay. Since he went to multiple casinos, he looked like that's what they reported as a bad check. And then of course you got the feds involved. But then people, some of those guys actually work in casinos, but before, so they understand the logistics of how it goes, how it work out. Which is why he's able to post bail and all that stuff. Anyway, so he didn't write a bad check. I hope I explained that. Now, the whole Gilbert Arenas situation, people are going crazy with it, right? What happened is, yes, he rent his house, which a lot of guys do. If you own multiple homes, you rent those homes to people, right? You rent those homes, depending on, because depending on where you have your house, you're gonna rent those out to a lot of people who have money, right? Somebody might, whatever. So it's similar to Airbnb. So but the home, he was renting his home to a mobster He's Israeli mobster. He rent a home to him, and of course, they play cards. They play cards, and I think that is somebody who lost money, a lot of money, probably owed Gilbert Arenas some money, and the Israeli mobster some money, and felt threatening, and said, you know what, I'm going to blow the whistle on you, because there's no way that the feds would have found out. Oh, my phone fell. We're gonna keep it as is. I'm not gonna delete it. I mean, I'm not gonna delete it. I'm gonna keep it at, like that, and then we're gonna record. We're still gonna rock and roll. I'm not gonna delete it. We're gonna keep it like that. And this is what it is. I'm already too far into it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm on the road anyway. But anyway, so the problem is with the feds were after the mobster. I'm not gonna say his name on here. You can Google that stuff yourself. So the Fed wanted the mobster. When they approached Gilbert Arenas, said, hey, golly, this is twice. Third time, I might delete it. If it happened the third time, who knows? I might just delete it. You know what I mean? Who knows? So I don't know. I might just do that, and just to make sure things are good. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? So yeah. So third time I might just delete it. But anyway, so Gilbert. You know what I mean? Gilbert situation, whatever. So the feds, approached him, and when the feds approached him to say, hey, we want the mobster, and we know that we want you to give us his name. We want, I said third time I was gonna delete it. Yeah, this is the third time, man. This is crazy, man. These things, you buy them and you think they're good and they're not good. But it's a stand, but it's not working properly. But anyway, they wanted the feds wanted the mobster. They asked Gilbert Arenas to give him the mobster information. Well, not so much the information. They had the information. It was more of a setup, and he was not willing to do that. He said no, and they told him, if you don't do it, we're gonna get you on illegal gambling, because he's like, you're gonna get me on illegal gambling. How many people actually gamble and throw cards game in their house? Yeah, the feds told him, yes, we know that we don't have much to get you on, but we're gonna embarrass you. We're gonna cost you deal. We know that you have your podcast. We know that we have multiple things. We're gonna embarrass you, which is what they did to say they arrest him on gambling. They try to get on prostitution, but they couldn't. Originally they had him on gambling, illegal gambling, prostitution, money laundering, all that stuff. But none of those stuff, the prostitution part couldn't stick, because it was not him who actually. Yeah, there's a lot of young women. Let me rephrase. When I say young women, not underage. Just women. There's a lot of women who actually showed up, who actually did, to serve drinks, to do all that stuff. Like when you go to the casino, you see all the sweeties. That's what they call the women who the women who walk around with the tights, all that stuff, to serve the drinks. Doing those they call sweeties, right? Yes, he hired, he had his people hire those girls to work. The Israeli mobster, of course, use his house, to of course to do his gambling, to do his stuff. Whenever he's in LA, this is what he does. So he has a relationship with Gilbert Arenas, and say, hey, I'm going to use your home to do that, and he got money for it. So the feds knew that. They got all the information. So they told Gilbert, either you give us that you give him up, or we're gonna use all that stuff on you. And he told them, hey, go ahead. And they did, and he post bail, all good. It's all good. So there's nothing to see here. But anyway, the breaking news I'm talking about, this Joel Embiid can't practice. Joel Embiid gonna miss the season. And because of the injury, with all the stuff going on, Joel Embiid, you know, the 76ers, they're tired of everything that's going on. They regret giving Joel Embiid the max deal they give him, and it's forcing, because he can't practice, he can't do anything, and then, you know, surgery is not an option at this point, because he's had multiple surgery, you know, on the knee. He should have never went to the Olympics. He should have never went to the Olympics. He should have stayed where he was, you know, man. And, you know, had the surgery to rehab, but because of all, you know, all the stuff he did, all the stretch, all the stuff he added to the knee, you know, Joel Embiid is going to retire. So this Joel Embiid won't be able to play this season, and you know, so him and his camp trying to see if they can even go, you know, half of the season, to see, you know, to see what happened before the announcement. But the announcement's coming soon. Joel Embiid is going to retire because it's too much for him, man. He's tired. The 76ers are tired, but we'll see what happens, man. Anyway, man, sports talk. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace out.